Hello and welcome back to Weyermann's Whimsy. Today on this Throwback Thursday, we are going to revisit one of my favorite stamp sets, and that is the Painted Harvest stamp set. So I am also using the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder with this one. So I've used the masking technique here, and I've got some Bumblebee gingham ribbon. So I have a Cajun Craze card base that is a tent-fold card base. I have a 5 1/4 by 4 in the crushed curry that I have already run through with the embossing folder. And I have a 5 by 3 3/4 piece of Very Vanilla. It will also get run through the embossing folder, but not until I have stamped it. So the colors I'm using today are Pumpkin Pie, Cherry Cobbler, Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, and I am also using Old Olive and Early Espresso. So there's some pretty detailed stamping that goes on with all of this, and I have got my this is two-step stamping, so I've got my 2 stamps on my blocks, and I have labeled what I've deemed to be the top of the stamp, and I've labeled this one as dark and this one as light, because the background, the larger stamp, is always the lighter color and the center is always the darker color. But I felt the need to keep reminding myself of that, because there are several ways this could go wrong. In my example, everything's down just a little bit, and I'm going to try and lift it up just a little bit as I do this. So let's see how successful I am with that. We are going to start with Pumpkin Pie as the light color and the Cajun Craze as the dark color. So I'm just going to put that under there like that. I am also going to get out my Stampin' scrub pad, because I'm going to need to be washing the stamps as I go. So I'll just get that all set up. Sorry, I should have done that beforehand. And you're going to see a lot of my arms in this as I scrub away. So let's get started. I am going to mask in the middle, up a little bit higher, so that I can keep this clear. So I'm going to start with the lighter color in the Pumpkin Pie, just like that, and I am going to stamp it down like that. Okay, I need to now come in with my darker color in the Cajun Craze and stamp it in like this. So what that does is it creates your flower, sorry, your sunflower. So I'm just going to clean these off like this. Okay, so I am also going to be using the Pumpkin Pie as my dark and my Crushed Curry as my light. So let's just close these up. Like I say, this does get a little bit complicated with all the stamps colors that are going on, but we can work around that. Okay, so I've got my Crushed Curry going here, and I'm just going to leave that down like that. And I'm going to ink up with the Crushed Curry and pop it down like that. Okay, and we're going to put this back down so that I can do the middle. Okay, so let's go in and do the Pumpkin Pie in the middle. And we're just going to pop that down like that. Perfect. Okay, let's clean that off. And the middle flower is going to be in Cajun Craze as our light color, and Cherry Cobbler as our dark color. So now I can take my mask away and open up my Cajun Craze and make sure I've got this the way up that I want it. And we can just pop this in right in the middle like that. See how that works? Okay, now I'm going to come in with the Cherry Cobbler in the middle like that. So we are done with all the colors in the middle. So I'm just going to put these off to the side. I'm also going to pop this out of the way because we don't need it right now. What I do need to do is I need to add in my middles. I'm using Early Espresso that I've just managed to put my thumb in. See, it wouldn't be a video from Weyermann's Whimsy if there wasn't me getting my thumb in or a finger in the ink. Okay, so we're going to take our centerpiece here and we are going to ink it up, drop it down in the middle. I still need my mask because I don't actually want to cover up my flowers in the middle of this one. So I'm going to go like that. And then we've got that in, and then I'm going to have it over here like this and come in and stamp like that. So I'm a bit off there. So I'm actually going to do that again, but just over this way a little bit. So, and I did miss a little bit here. So if I want to, I can always come back in and do it again, just like that. Before I close that up though, I am going to come in and I'm going to do my dots on the sunflower middles. And I'm using the Early Espresso again, or Espresso, sorry, for this again. It just gives that little bit of highlight there. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with some leaves in the Old Olive. And I'm just going to pull this back in now that I've got room so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to come in with the leaves and I'm just going to curve them up here like this and then into the middle like this. So you can see how I'm reversing the curve on this and like that. And then this one I did curving out this way. So there we go. That is that done. I don't actually have a greeting on this card. I was kind of winging it on the fly and I hadn't actually come up with a greeting for it, but I am going to try the greeting. Now the greeting is quite small and it says, "Gather together and give thanks." I'm going to pop it up in the top here like this. Now my concern is because it's really small writing, when I run it through the folder, it's going to distort it. And if it does, I'll just stamp it on a separate piece of paper and go from there and just cover it up. So I'm going to run this through the cut and emboss machine. So just bear with me while I do that. And it is a 3D folder, so I do need the base and the thick gray plate for it. So let's just pop that out. Oh, and you know what? It looks gorgeous. Okay, that is so perfect. I'm so happy with that. This one, I did dimensionalize the front on it, but it doesn't really make a big difference, so I'm not going to. But what I will do is put my gingham ribbon on first, and then I'll attach everything. So I'm just going to pop that down like that, run it across the front, make sure it's level, and then fold it into the back like that. Okay, it's actually down a little bit, so I'm just going to reset that like that. And there we go. Okay, so let's start building the card. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal adhesive and just roll it on like that. And then, oh, it's there. If I go a little bit slower, I don't destroy things as I go. Okay, so we are going to do our usual where we line it up so it's centered and then drop it down. And then because I decided not to dimensionalize this one, I'm just going to go across like this and then close to the bottom. Oh, and I've picked up that ribbon. I thought I might. There we go. Okay. Make sure we've got this opening the right way. And then we can line this up the same way as we did before. Drop it down and give it a good push so that that ribbon stays. And then I've got just another small piece that I'm just going to pop under here like this, and then just tie in a knot. Now, because it's not a bow, it should work for me first time. And there we go. So there is our Gather Together and Give Thanks card using the Painted Harvest stamp set. It is retired, but if you've got it in your collection, this is a great way to use it, incorporating the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.